Hey, Rachel.
Hello, hello.
Welcome everybody to Oregon Weight and Wellness and our live session of What's for Dinner
Mhm.
on this beautiful Thursday. My goodness, can the weather get any better?
I know we are seeing a beautiful, it's not even fall yet, right? Not technically
No,
fall,
no,
but
not
it's
quite fall.
oh,
Yeah.
it's just the perfect weather. I love it. Yeah, I myself am a big fan.
Mhm. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little
So,
breeze, not too
uh,
hot.
yeah. Are you still getting good stuff out of your garden, Rachel?
Oh my gosh, yes, my Roma tomatoes are still, I can't tell you how many batches of crushed tomato sauce I've
Mm,
made and a
mm,
roasted veggie thing with bell peppers and onions and I'm giving
mm.
away to everyone. And
Yeah.
washes are still alive and coming. Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
just amazing.
Great. Yay. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're talking in our book Eat, Move, Sleep by Tom Rath. And
Mhm.
on chapter 20, I believe, what's his first point, Rachel?
First point is less heat, better to eat.
Yeah.
So he's talking about the way we prepare our food is, can be just as important as what we're eating and when we're eating it. We talk about all these different parts of eating, but we haven't
Hmm.
talked a lot about this in any of our conversations about
Right.
how you prepare food.
Right.
So when he talks about, and I'm sure you can speak to with some expertise in this, but he talks about high levels of heat and the charring effect. So high levels,
Mm.
hot, dry heat and charring
Hmm.
with a class of toxins called advanced glycation end products, and
Right.
they abbreviate it AGEs.
Yeah. Which is a perfect abbreviation because that's exactly what they do in our
Yes,
bodies. They age our bodies. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I like a grilled hamburger, that's for sure, and I like vegetables on the grill.
yeah.
But there is something to that heat, that intense heat, the
Hmm.
charring of it of whatever it is, the food
Yeah.
that creates these not great compounds for our
Hmm.
bodies,
Hmm.
in our
And he
bodies.
really he talks about like the excessive use of this. So it is an
Right.
accumulative effect. And he says
Hmm.
um, our body has a natural capacity to remove these. So
Hmm.
when when I think about when we're eating balanced and we're eating a little bit of this, a little bit of that, roasted a little bit of this, but then maybe blanched this way and maybe raw this way, we're
Hmm.
the balance of it and we're not overtaxing our body's natural ability to
Right.
remove toxins.
Right. Yes. Good point that we are set up, we have livers, we have kidneys, we have systems in place to detoxify us, and sleep, of course,
Sleep.
to detoxify our system from these ages that are coming in.
Hmm.
Um, and what you're saying is that if there's a balance, we eat a salad that's raw. We
Yeah.
eat something that's slow cooked, or low heat cooked.
Hmm.
If it's a combination of those things, then there's less of a negative effect from the occasional grilling or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of sous vide?
Yes, where you kind of put
Yeah.
it in a bag and you kind of dip it and yeah, and it's supposed to be
Uh-huh.
amazing. You can buy
Right.
these yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that slow, low temperature heat
Hmm.
that doesn't denature protein, or in a way that causes the advanced glycation end products. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it is cooked in a bag, which is sealed, but he does make
Hmm.
a point that whenever you can cook with moisture,
Mm.
not the high dry heat. But so I'm not sure, but I guess it's just a lower heat,
Hmm.
just a flat. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't denature. When you look at the food that's been cooked that way, it doesn't have that charring or that
Right.
blackening.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that blackening, if in a vegetable, is going to be the sugar that's going to is chain is that the sugar that kind of damages the rest of the molecule in the, and maybe not all of them, but the charred part, you know
Yeah.
yeah, of that food.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's
So,
interesting,
that-
and
Mhm.
it's an area that very few people I think are aware of, and
Mhm.
that we can really pay attention. If you're barbecuing every single thing you eat, maybe you can balance
Mhm.
that out a little bit
Right.
some raw vegetables, like you said, some meat that's cooked, not barbecued and charred,
Mhm. Yeah.
fried. So he talks about like the main culprits are like grilling, frying, broiling, and roasting kind of falls in that category. Now I love
Mhm.
roasted vegetables, and you and
Yeah.
I talked about this. I'm gonna eat a roasted Brussels sprout before I'm gonna eat a boiled one.
Yeah.
So if I want to eat Brussels sprouts, I'm gonna roast them, and that's
Yeah.
then not eating them at all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. If roasting is the way you're going to eat your vegetables, I think that's, we can trust our bodies to get rid of the ages. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
And but when you can maybe if you are going to boil, let's say, or steam your vegetables, he talks about doing it a quick flash,
Mm.
boil or steam where it's the vegetables maintaining a lot of its color. It gets really bright
Right.
before
Yeah.
it gets really weepy looking. And so,
Mushy, gushy,
yeah,
yucky. Yeah.
we all know that. We all were raised with parents who overboiled and overcooked our vegetables.
Broccoli.
So yeah, soggy and mushy. And so catch it when it's got that bright, vibrant color and it's maybe
Mhm.
a little crunchy, not
Yeah.
soggy and mushy.
Right.
And that's going to be probably the best way other than raw to eat
Right.
things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And actually, sometimes it even brings out and makes the compounds in that vegetable even better absorbed.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
spinach, I think if you blanch it just a little bit, you're going to have it's going to be better absorbed. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And when I look at the nutrient recommendations and the nutrient profiles of different vegetables, they all have something different to bring in the different
Mhm.
ways that they're cooked. Just like what you're saying.
Right.
Raw
Yeah.
food impacts with our saliva and our gut differently than cooked
Mhm. Yeah.
broccoli
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's all important. So all the
Yeah.
different ways are helpful.
That's right. It's all fascinating. And so the encouragement here is to try foods different ways.
Right.
Try them raw, try them
Mhm.
roasted, try them low heat, try them
Yeah.
steamed, Yeah,
Yeah.
just try
And
it.
that goes for fish as well, rather than maybe putting it on the barbecue, putting it in an instant pot or,
Mhm.
you know, cooking it in the oven, but in foil with moisture and kind of
Mhm.
it up.
Right. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Right. So if a person's in the habit of do everything barbecue, try something different. Yeah. Great. Love it. All right. What's the next thing? Whoa.
All right. Topic 2 is driving to divorce. This is a really interesting
Mm.
topic we've never talked about. Driving and how the invention of the car has led, to this increase in obesity and being sedentary because we don't move to get to where we need to go.
Right.
And that the time spent in the car is not only harmful to our health, but he makes a strong point that it's harmful to marriages and to families.
Ooh. Mm.
Right.
Yeah, that was surprising to me.
Me too.
What's the longest commute that you've ever had to do, Rachel?
I think it was about 45 minutes back in like my
Mhm.
college years.
Mhm.
I was living in Southern
Yeah.
California and I had to drive into the valley.
Wow, Southern California.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
traffic, and that could be more, sometimes it's 45 minutes the way the crow flies, but if you hit traffic, that's a lot longer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So that kind of reminds me, my brother and sister-in-law moved up from Southern California, and I was driving them around, and we were on I-5, and the traffic slowed to whatever 40 miles an hour. And I said, I'm sorry for the traffic. I apologized to them, and they looked at each other, and then they busted out laughing because this is nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know what traffic is. Yeah, but I suppose my longest commute was in medical school when I lived in Houston, and that traffic could get really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, road rage. I mean, yeah, you're spending so much time in the car. I am so blessed right now. I feel so blessed that I don't have a commute anymore.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed. Yeah.
I'm with you. I love working from home, and he talks about that, like working with your employer to see if you can telecommute at least a little bit. to cut back the amount of time but really be thinking about your commute as a piece of your health and overall well-being and your family and your relationships. And they, they've done studies and he talks about that the increase in salary, if it was this huge wage increase that you got, but you had to drive further, that the research shows it doesn't actually pay off. What did he say? He has a good statement here that a bigger pay raise or a larger house is not worth it if you have to add an hour to your commute. And they found that for every extra hour of total commuting time per day, you would need a corresponding 40% increase in your salary to make the added car time worth it.
That's huge.
That's huge. That's a big deal. So we've got to, I know, and for some people, there's no option. That's where their job is, and they've got a good job and they need the job, of course. And so, they can put their focus on their health in other areas and kind of chalk that one up. But man, if there's anything you can do to decrease that time.
Right. And then the other thing I was thinking about, Rachel, is that if you have to commute, what can you do to make your commute bring calm and peace and, parasympathetic nervous system engagement, so it's just not sitting in a car. Right?
And to cherish that drive as your time to listen to a podcast, to do some meditation in a driving kind of a way, to learn something, to read a book, to communicate with whoever you're carpooling with, and switch the mindset. If you have to drive, rather than beat yourself up every day, like, oh, poor me, I have to drive, you have to turn it around. And I love what you're saying, bringing up that, how can we turn it around then into a healing and life-giving time? Yeah. We can make the best of it.
Right. That's right. Okay, excellent. All right. What's his last point?
All right. Sleeping in only sounds good. Okay, so we're going to hit something that people are not going to like here. This is also we've never talked about this either. And I think it's mentioned in the Sleep Smarter book that we do with groups, but he doesn't talk about it like at length. And how many people are waking up and having a great routine? I hear it over and over again. Monday through Friday, I have a great routine. I'm actually really good at my nutrition at work and I can dial things in. I feel very organized. And then my weekends fall apart. And I think part of that is due to the fact that we upset our circadian rhythm. We sleep in, we stay up later, and it's harder to get back into the cycle.
Right. Then Sunday night comes and it is so hard. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So what kind of things does he offer? Just getting up, deciding to get up at the same time. Yeah.
He says the easiest way to keep your clock, your circadian rhythm, and your sleep cycle, especially if you're having a hard time with sleep, this would be I would think one of the first things you'd want to try is go to sleep at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every night or every morning. So he says, wake up at the same time every day. You're less, and in that way, you're less likely to shift your clock and get out of sync.
Yeah,
that's his main.
Yeah, how I'm going to ask you personally, how do you do with that?
I do pretty good. Because my body is so set to the clock that I can't sleep in anymore.
Right.
I want to. I lay there, and my mind wakes me up. So I probably, I wake up between 5:30 and 6 on the weekdays, and I probably wake up between 6 and 7 on the weekend. So I get a little bit more. But I know that I've woken up at 5:30 or 6. Now I'm kind of just laying here, Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
And I'm a morning person, so I love to wake up and get up, because my most productive time is before noon. Yes. So as many kind of things as I can tick off my list. Yeah. And then I can coast the rest of the day.
It's true. I am so efficient in the morning and creative and ready to go. And I love, it feels so accomplishing too when you can get things done early in the morning.
Yeah. So that's a natural way that I'm wired. My kid drives my kids nuts, but that's okay.
I wasn't wired that way to begin with. And I think that we can all, whether we're born owls or born early birds, I think we're neuroplastic and body plastic. We can change. We can shift.
Great point. We can shift. That's right.
Yeah.
And it starts with knowing and understanding and accepting and believing that we can shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, great. All right, awesome. Well, okay, so what's on your dinner menu for tonight, Rachel?
Dinner tonight is it's always leftovers. I feel like because I must prep on Wednesdays, but it's a homemade miso soup, and it is so good. I had made a broth a couple months ago, a gut biome broth.
Ooh.
So we're talking ginger and turmeric and onion and all the vegetables. We're steeped into this. Seaweed, and I mean, like the list goes on and on, and it was this bright yellow, kind of thick, because it was so many things that were pulled out of all the vegetables.
Right.
So I vegetables in my compost, and it was this broth, and it had a very Asian flair to it anyway. And then I made a miso soup with it, with tofu, and cabbage, and cauliflower, and it's like, it's so filling, it's so flavorful, and I probably jumped the gun with soup because it doesn't feel quite right eating a
That's all right.
day like today.
Yeah.
But I made a giant batch of it. We've been eating
Sounds
it.
Sounds delish.
So good.
Well, same kind of thing. We made my husband made a bolognese out of the garden, onions, tomato, throw some zucchini, or we'll zoodle that for the noodle.
Yes.
But yeah, that's been sitting in the pot cooking, all day, and the aroma is, wafting into the office part. So
making all your patients hungry.
Yeah, that's right.
For smell of good food, good, healthy, yummy food.
Yes. So
that sounds so
good.
It
is really good. So, all right. Well, this has been a great conversation, and I appreciate the new information.
Yeah, this was a good chapter with some things we haven't discussed at length. So I need to hear people's comments, in the post, and reach out if you have questions about it, because it's every little tiny small step that we change for the better. We just keep making little tweaks. With this knowledge that I have about charring and roasting, I might be thinking, okay, well, I need to add in some steamed vegetables this week also, and eat some more raw salad, and make sure I'm balancing out. So with that knowledge, I can make better choices.
Right. Yeah. What else can I do? What can I do? What would I be interested in trying? Or asking yourself those great questions. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, Rachel, for your time. And until next time.
Bye, everybody.
Stay healthy, everybody.
Yes. Have a good day. Bye.